Welcome to all. I am Dr. Asha Kadam from Department of Botany, Dada Patil Mahavidyalaya, Karjat. Today we learn about the next plant constituent, that is the mitochondria. So we know that mitochondria means powerhouse of the cell. Commonly, mitochondria is called as the powerhouse of cell because of these mitochondria having the ability to store the energy in the form of a ATP, and that's why the mitochondria is called as the powerhouse of the cell. Here today we learn about the morphology of mitochondria, ultrastructure of mitochondria, chemical composition and functions of mitochondria. So, when we learn about the introductory part of mitochondria, that time we say that mitochondria is double bound membrane structure. Means each having two membrane, that is the outer membrane and the inner membrane. These mitochondria are found in cytoplasm of eukaryotic cell. Means mitochondria is totally absent in prokaryotic cell. These mitochondria only present in cytoplasm of eukaryotic cell. The mitochondria, this word becomes the two small words, that is mitose and the chondrion. Mitose means thread and chondrion means granule-like structure. Means these mitochondria is threads or the granule-like structure which are present in cytoplasm. The mitochondria first time observed the Richard Altman. So here these Richard Altman in 1894 they first time observed these mitochondria in the cellular content. The term mitochondria was coined by Carl Benda in 1898. Means first time the study was given by the Richard Altman in 1894, and these mitochondria term coined first time Carl Benda in 1898. So mitochondria is double membrane bound structure in which there are two membranes are present, that is inner and the outer membrane, which are found in cytoplasm of eukaryotic cells. Mitose means thread and granules means chondrion means granule-like structure. Means mitochondria is double membrane bound structure which are thread or the granules. First time observed Richard Altman in 1894 and coined this term, that is by Carl Benda in 1898. So why these mitochondria generally called as powerhouse of cell? So mitochondria are responsible for the conversion of nutrients into the energy-adding molecule, that is the ATP, to fuel these cell activities. Means these mitochondria is an organelle which are responsible for the conversion of nutrients into energy-adding molecule, that is the ATP, which act as a fuel. And due to these, different cell activities are run. So the function known as aerobic respiration is the reason mitochondria are frequently referred to the powerhouse of the cell. So generally, mitochondria are responsible or having the ability to store the energy in the form of a ATP, through which various cell activities are done. And that's why here these mitochondria is called as powerhouse of cell. So aerobic respiration is the main function of mitochondria, which involves the various processes like the glycolysis, Krebs cycle and the electron transport pathway. Means mitochondria having the ability, that is the aerobic respiration, or we also say that mitochondria is the play important role in the aerobic respiration, in which different processes are occur, that is the glycolysis, Krebs cycle and the electron transport pathway. So when we learn about the origin of mitochondria, that time the mitochondria are derived from bacteria. There are different hypotheses regarding how these mitochondria is originated. So, mitochondria are derived from bacteria by a process that called as the endosymbiosis. Means endosymbiosis is the process in which the mitochondria are derived from the bacteria. So, mitochondria arise about 2 billion years ago when a bacteria, this bacterium is fused, united with an archaeal cell, or there is the established a symbiotic relationship with a primitive eukaryotic cell. So, we say that the hypothesis regarding the origin of mitochondria, that is, these mitochondria is originated via the process of endosymbiosis. Means it is derived from the bacteria. It said that or reported that mitochondria arises about 2 billion years ago when there is the bacterium united with archaeal cell, or there is the established a symbiotic relationship with a primitive eukaryotic cell, and after that there is the formation of mitochondria. This is the hypothesis regarding the origin of mitochondria. Means, in short, the mitochondria arises from the endosymbiosis process. So, here these diagrams show that these mitochondria and the chloroplast, these two organelles in the cells, they are originated from the aerobic prokaryotes, which is occurring in different stages. There is the fuse with the photosynthetic prokaryote to the cell, and they are engulfed into these. When the photosynthetic bacteria engulf into the cell, there is formation of the chloroplast, and when there is the aerobic bacteria, these aerobic bacteria are engulfed into the cell, they are forming the mitochondria. Means here through these diagram we learn that from the photosynthetic prokaryote there is the formation of the organelle, that is the chloroplast, and through the aerobic prokaryotes there is the formation of a mitochondria. means when the fusion of these aerobic bacteria with these cellular content, that time there is formation of a mitochondria. So the closest relatives of bacteria that gives rise to mitochondria and also the rickettsia. The first person to recognize mitochondria as descendant of endosymbiotic bacteria, that is Yuan. Means first time the cytologist Yuan was reported that the mitochondria arises from the endosymbiotic bacteria with some evidences. So this is a diagram showing the origin of mitochondria through the endosymbiotic theory or hypothesis of endosymbiotic. So first, this one is the first step, that is, here is the cellular content in which we say that only the prokaryote is there, infulging in the plasma membrane of ancestor prokaryote, which gives rise to endomembrane components, including these nucleus and also here the thread-like nuclear content are present, and after that they are fused. There is formation of a nucleus. Here there is the nucleus and the network of endoplasmic reticulum. These two endomembrane components are formed. After that, in a first endosymbiotic event, the ancestral eukaryote, they consume some aerobic bacteria. These are the aerobic bacteria, these cells which contain the component of nucleus and this network of the endoplasmic reticulum. These cells engulf this aerobic bacteria, and that after evolve the mitochondria. But in the second endosymbiotic event, when these cellular content or these cells which having the membrane or which having the content, that is the nucleus and the endoplasmic reticulum, that cell again engulfed into the photosynthetic bacteria, and there is formation of the chloroplast. Means when there is the modern photosynthetic eukaryote is formed, there is included in that cell there is the inclusions of, or there are included the elements like the chloroplast, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, and this one is the nucleus. Means the through the endosymbiotic theory, or according to the endosymbiotic theory, when the cells are engulfed the aerobic bacteria, they forming the mitochondria, and when there is the cell engulfed into the photosynthetic bacteria, there is the formation of a chloroplast. So in short, according to the endosymbiotic theory, or endosymbiotic theory state that through the aerobic bacterium there is formation of mitochondria, and through the photosynthetic bacteria there is formation of a organelle, that is the chloroplast. So this one is the biogenesis of mitochondria, means how these mitochondria is formed. Mitochondria grow by importing the most of their proteins which from the cytoplasm by internal synthesis of some proteins and also the replication of genome, because mitochondria having its own genome. Similar to cells, mitochondria also divide and they fuses with the mitochondria, maintaining their number of cells. So, by the process of fusion and the fission. Here, these showing the mitochondrial dynamics through the process of fission, and this one is the fusion. So, our understanding of mitochondrial fission and fusion has improved in recent years with the development of in vitro assay for their study and also the identification of various protein content which are required by the event of fission also and the fusion also. The balance between these two events, that is the fusion and the fission, is likely a major determinant of mitochondrial number, their length and also the degree of interconnection. When fusion becomes more frequent than the fission, then the mitochondria tend to become more elongated and interconnected, whereas a predominance of fusion that always leads to the formation of more numerous and the distinct mitochondria. Means through the process of fusion, there is also the mitochondria tend become more elongated, interconnected, and predominance of fusion leads the formation of a different numerous and the distinct mitochondria. So, here this diagram of mitochondria showing the different elements. We see that mitochondria is double membrane structure. Means the double bound membrane structure having a two membrane. That is, these are the outer membrane. This one is the inner membrane. Here, these tiny particles, these are the ATP synthesis particles which store the energy in the form of ATP. These are the granule-like structures that we call as the matrix. In between the outer and the inner membrane, there are some space and that we call as the intermembrane space. These are the infolding of the inner membrane, and these are infolding of the inner membrane that we called as the cristae. These are the ribosomes and these are the small granule structures. So, in this diagram of the mitochondria, also there are circular nuclear content are present that we call as the DNA. Means these mitochondria having its own DNA which is circular in nature. So, where these mitochondria is located? So, in the animal cells, mitochondria is located near to the endoplasmic reticulum and corner to these cell membrane. Here also, these mitochondria is located near to the endoplasmic reticulum in between and the plasma membrane. So, when we learn the morphology of mitochondria, means external appearance of these organelle, that is the mitochondria, that time we learn the size, length, shape, number. The size of mitochondria is approximately 0.05 to 1 micrometer in diameter, having the length that is 1 to 10 micrometer long, and these mitochondria having been safe in the fibroblast which is elongated and the thread-like. Means most commonly the mitochondria having the bean shape, but in the fibroblast it is the elongated and the thread-like also. the number of mitochondria that are depends on type, size and the functional stage of cell. For example, an average liver cell they contains the approximately 1500 mitochondria in a one cell. Means the number of mitochondria is varies from cell to cell. For example, when we take the example of liver cell, in the liver cell, the number of mitochondria is approximately 1500. So, today we learn about the introduction of mitochondria and the morphology of mitochondria.